6 News starts with First Alert Day coverage.
We want to get straight to the flooding emergency tonight. This video is from North Bend. Neighbors there faced with rising rivers, homes evacuated, roads turned into rushing rivers. A bit east of there in Willow Creek in Missouri Valley, city officials say the Willow Park area is now under a mandatory evacuation. You can see big chunks of ice making their way down the creek. The Missouri Valley chief says the ice jam lasted about 3 hours. The flooding situation continues to get worse. This is 6 News Live at 6:30. I'm Lauren Taylor.
And I'm John Nicely. The state of Nebraska under an emergency declaration. And tonight we're bringing you extensive First Alert Day team coverage. We have crews all over the Omaha metro area. We'll get to our team of reporters in a minute, but first we start with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lloyd.
One thing to know about all the river levels right now, they will continue to rise, if not just tomorrow, well into the weekend as well. We're going to start off the First Alert Day coverage here tonight and into Thursday with the alert day still going. Spotty light showers still in the cards this evening and overnight, but the heaviest of the rain has passed us. Still some light showers Thursday that might try to change over to a little bit of light snow if there's anything left in the afternoon. So the river flooding will continue. And Thursday, wind gusts 40 to 60 miles per hour looking likely out of the northwest. So we still have the backside of the storm yet to move through. And I mentioned we're not done with the rain yet. Our sunshine's about to go away. Clouds filtering back in from the southwest and some spotty showers along with it. But this is a lot lighter rain, and it's not expected to have nearly as big of an impact. But some heavier, steadier showers are back to the west. We could have a little bit more accumulate Columbus to Norfolk, a little bit more than the rest of us. This storm system still pinwheeling, producing snow and blizzard conditions on the backside of it, and it'll be heading our direction again. We were just on the front edge of this today. It still has to move through tonight and into tomorrow as well. Look at all these green boxes on the map here. These are all storm reports of flooding that has been reported all over the area. And notice how they're all mainly Omaha on north. All this water has to run south and downstream yet. So there is going to be a lot of flooding yet to go over the next several days. And you can see whether it's the Elkhorn, the Platte, many of the creeks around, the Nishnabotna River on the Iowa side. If your river levels are up, they are likely to continue to rise here, at least for the next 24 hours, likely longer. And there's numerous road closures all over the place. We can just select any one of these here. And you can see water covering lanes of Highway 275 and 91 near Scribner. And there's water all over the place. We look at the Nishnabotna River on the Iowa side and the Keg Creek as well. State Highway 6 is closed across Pottawatomie County. At least that was the report at about 1241. So these have been coming in fast and furious. Plus, we continue to see river levels that are going to climb. Look at the Platte River on the west edge of Douglas County. This is the latest look at how this is going to play out. And river levels will keep rising into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, possibly up near record stage. Elkhorn River near Waterloo, and even the Platte River near a little farther west as well. So there is plenty of water yet to go downstream, including near Omaha and the Missouri. Now they increased the release at Gavin's Point Dam, and this is likely to bring the flooding up near 32 feet into the moderate category heading into Saturday. That would be enough to cover parts of 680 and I-29 near Crescent, a lot like 2011 if you remember back. So there is a lot yet to go with this system, even though we're done with the heaviest of rain. Still a lot of runoff. Rain chances pretty minimal into the evening and overnight, but 50s will turn into 40s heading towards tomorrow morning. And it's going to be a rather blustery day tomorrow, to put it lightly. We'll talk more about those details coming up later.
All right, thanks, Rusty. County and city leaders are keeping a close eye on Missouri Valley. A creek there is now threatening neighbors, and parts of that area are under a mandatory evacuation order. Reporter Rachel Urbanski joins us live from that area. And Rachel, what can you tell us?
John, Lauren, this is absolutely incredible. We are here in Missouri Valley, and take a look at Willow Creek. We've been here all day, and it did not look like this a few hours ago. In fact, it didn't even look like this a few minutes ago. Take a look over there. You can see that water is coming up onto the road. It's actually even backing up traffic. And I've gotten word that some of the downtown businesses have also been forced to evacuate. And I look down the road a little bit and I see that there's a lot of water that is piling up in the street. Like I mentioned, it's backing up traffic here. But take a look as the water continues to rise. It's coming on the street and it's coming through those holes. And we even talked to some people earlier today who tell us this isn't the first time they've had to be evacuated.
Flood of 96, and then we had the 2007 flood, the scare of 2011. But But yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen the water this high, this fast.
Richard Burbridge is just one of many Willow Park residents who are being forced to evacuate their homes. He has never seen the creek like this before.
As high as it is, it won't take nothing for it to jump the levee, and I don't know how long then you have to get out. So
Willow Creek went through different stages throughout the day. This video was taken this morning. It shows a big ice jam on Willow Creek that lasted 3 hours. Around noon, this was a scene. And right now, this, leaving officials on edge.
Am I worried? I am very concerned, yes. Just to say I wouldn't be worried, not worried that it's not a threat, would be very dishonest of me. So yes, I am worried.
Chief Murray's concerns have now become a reality as people are packing up and moving to higher ground. They're waiting to get word on when water levels are going down. He's seen this before in 2007 when Missouri Valley flooded, forcing many to evacuate. This time, however, the conditions are different.
The conditions we're facing right now, this is unusual. It's a different set of circumstances with the frozen ground, the foot of snow or more, and the heavy rain.
With Nick Bohan, Rachel Urbanski, 6 News.
And we're told the Missouri River has risen 8 feet in the last 24 hours, and officials there are keeping a close eye on it.
Yes, more video to look at. This is from Chalco Hills. Viewer Denny Piper sent this in to us. The spillway is normally dry, but the lake is overflowing, and it's overflowing at a rapid pace. We thank you, Denny, for sending us this picture. And Council Bluffs experiencing some issues of its own. We found standing water sitting in the middle of Avenue J. Floodwaters closed the street from 26th to 28th Street. We watched a van make it through a small portion of the water. Neighbors say heading down this street is a gamble.
Nobody's stalled yet. There's been a few people that live fairly close to the edge, so it isn't going to bother them too much, but it is really deep in the middle there, so it could flood out a car.
Several other roads were also closed, including Avenues H, I, and L Boulevard. And as the rain fell, flooding became a major problem.
In Nickerson, the flooding is not getting any better. That area is along the Elkhorn River. 6 News' Jennifer Ortega is there now, and she continues our First Alert Day team coverage. Jen?
Flood waters have been rising quickly all over Nickerson, creeping up to buildings like this right here in downtown. Emergency crews saying don't try to drive through it.
You hit a washout, your car turns into a boat.
Mitch Bridges with NDOT says they've been turning away cars on this stretch of Highway 91 in Nickerson since 11 this morning, making sure no one gets caught in the current.
If a car gets trapped in that running water, it could wash the car away. So it's best that we get everything stopped so nobody can run through.
Bridges says the water has been rising quickly over the road, 12 inches already when we got there.
And when you got water over the road, you don't know what's underneath the water, so the road could be washed out.
That house over there, I mean, it's all underwater.
Susie Hernandez says she's heard about the evacuation but isn't too concerned that her home is elevated.
I live up the hill up there, so I'm not really much worried about it, but she's going to leave here in a bit.
I think we're far enough from the river.
Usually
right
don't
here.
get any higher than this.
Usually don't get higher than this.
Many residents have already evacuated the area. Others say they're just waiting it out. In Nickerson, Jennifer Ortega, 6 News.
And not too far from Nickerson, folks in North Bend, they came together, many in the town, preparing for potential flooding. 6 News' Liliana Pearson is there now with what the town is doing. Liliana?
John, Lauren, there has been a lull in the rain here, which has been really good. But as you can see, snowmelt and that earlier rain is causing this. There is a lot of standing water here in North Bend where, like I said, that snow is starting to melt and these low-lying areas are really starting to fill up. Go ahead and take a look around. School was actually called off earlier today, and actually as we're speaking, this rain is starting to fall again. Because school was called off, they were able to fill between 4,000 and 5,000 sandbags. They've been putting that up all afternoon. And if you look just over here, you can actually see a pallet of those sandbags. If you go ahead and take a look, standing by as this rain starts to fall, those are going to be ready if this puddle moves up and gets up to the fire department. They're going to be able to put that in front of doors. They're going to be able to put it in front of garages and make sure that this rain is really staying out. They're looking at potential flooding coming from the Platte River to the south and Maple Creek to the north. So they're really surrounded by high potential areas. We went into more of the residential homes and we saw a lot of backyards flooded. One homeowner even telling us that if she even gets a few more inches of rain, that it could potentially flood her basement. Everyone telling us that it's been more than a decade since they've had to break out the sandbags, call off school, close nearly every business downtown to make sure that the entire community is coming together and that they are doing their best to prevent any more damage being done from this water. We see crews up. They are making sure that cars aren't driving through this type of scene right here that you can see up shin deep. It's deeper the more that I go in, and as this rain continues to fall, we're just going to be looking at more and more of this happening in North Bend. They only have levee systems up, so if we get a few more inches of water, this could be really bad for the area. We'll keep you updated and have more of their story coming up at 10. With Xavier Jackson, Liliana Pearson, 6 News.
As a reminder, you can find everything you need to know about flooding conditions across the metro, including evacuations, right on our website and on our 6 News app.
Those live pictures really told the story in North Bend, didn't they?
Amazing. Yeah, and she's standing there out there in water in the middle of the street.
All around her.
Be careful. Don't drive through those floodwaters either. Be careful. Tonight, our First Alert Day coverage, it does not stop here.
Folks in Ashland keeping a close eye on conditions.
We're anticipating the floods coming over and preparing now.
City leaders working to keep you safe. And with all this rain and concerns over flooding, drivers are still dealing with potholes. A look at how crews are trying to smooth the ride.
And as we head to break, live pictures right now. This is from 90th and Dodge. It's difficult to imagine the conditions we're seeing just from these pictures. More coverage when 6 News returns. Welcome back. Your time right now, 6:44, and we are taking a live look at 90th and Dodge. This is from the American National Bank. Sunny day right now. Sunny out there right now.
It's good right now.
Ashland city officials say they expect flooding in their area. Ashland is located in Saunders County, about 30 miles west of Omaha.
And they do say they're keeping a close eye on the weather and the water. And John Chapman continues our team coverage.
Just outside of Ashland, water is beginning to take over the area. You can see the water bubbling up on the side of some county roads, threatening to cover them up. Water has taken over some roads outside of town, but that doesn't seem to matter to some people. City officials say these areas outside of town will see more water.
So we're anticipating the floods coming over and preparing now. We sent out trucks to check out the area, photograph it, measure, see if there's an evacuation in process. It's always bad when it comes through our area. We're hoping for the best, anticipating for the worst.
In town, officials are keeping a close watch on Salt Creek. The now fast-running creek has become a concern, and officials here are worried about how to protect the town's ball fields.
We've taken some action with our local crew to protect some of the assets that we've got there. Some of the flood barriers and things have been put into place at those ball facilities.
Right now, officials in Ashland are concerned about street flooding, but the major concern seems to be outside of the city, where high water is beginning to take over. With photographer Mike Clues, John Chapman, 6 News.
They do say the town water system's on high ground and is not expected to be affected by the high water. Not a lot of snow left after today, but plenty of potholes.
Yeah, Brian Master, he's been looking into whether drivers who hit one should file a claim with the city. And he joins us live with what he found out.
Lauren and John, there are a lot of heartbreaking stories of people who have filed claims with the city and the expenses it took to get back on the road. One guy blew out 2 tires on 2 separate occasions this winter. One woman blew out a tire on the way just after getting her other tire fixed. Trouble is, when it comes to blame, the law is on the city's side. When it's raining and the snow is melting, it's nearly impossible to identify and avoid a pothole. But when there's a sign warning of the danger ahead, this guy must have thought the term road closed was merely a suggestion. The path through Elmwood looks more like an amusement ride than a public road. On Interstate 80 today, instead of a sign, law enforcement made themselves the barrier. The L Street interchange closed for an hour after as many as 5 cars blew out tires on potholes. State road crews did what they could to fill the hazards.
It was this tire and
Maurice Bailey joined the growing list of pothole victims this winter. His happened on Saddle Creek Road.
And there was a pothole right in front of a car wash, and the car wash water was kind of covering the pothole. So I just hit it head on right before my turn into the bank.
Both passenger tires blown, more than $1,000 in damage. So he filed a claim with the city asking for reimbursement, only to be told the city won't be paying.
It's going to be a headache for anyone who tries to do it.
Going back at least 2 decades, 6 News has learned the law department has never paid a pothole claim.
I feel like there should be some type of system, at least for those who may not be able to afford it.
While this seems like a lesson that you can't fight City Hall, many will keep on trying out of principle, especially after today. This woman hit a pothole on Cass Street at 2 in the afternoon. Tow trucks are so busy with pothole pickups, her tow didn't arrive until 5:30, 3.5 hours later. Now, John and Lauren, while the city will often pay if a snowplow hits your car or the mailbox, when it comes to a pothole, this is how the law reads. The city must first know of the problem and then given a reasonable time to fix it. And that's the key part of it, reasonable. When it's raining or it's snowing, there just aren't quick fixes, so the rest of us seem to be out of luck. Reporting live with photographer M.H. Danker, I'm Brian Mastry, 6 News.
Your First Alert forecast is sponsored by Jensen Tire and Auto.
Now at Jensen Tire and Auto, get up to $200 back when you purchase a set of 4 select Goodyear or Dunlop tires using your Goodyear credit card. Goodyear tire savings now at Jensen.
Nice to have the sunshine for a while, but like I mentioned, we're not done with the rain yet. Showers are moving back in. Just everything from here on out will be a lot lighter than what we dealt with earlier and fairly spotty. You can see more showers pinwheeling in from the southwest, and a couple down here in Cass County, a few more in parts of Otoe and Nemaha County, and then a couple of thunderstorms over the North Bend area, lifting to the north, Schuyler as well, crossing the Platte River, places that just don't need any more water. And that's roughly the entire viewing area that doesn't need any more water. Flood warnings in place, most of these through tomorrow and probably extended from there on out, as runoff and snowmelt continues to cause rivers to rise. And a lot of these will rise through Thursday, Friday, and maybe even into Saturday as all these continue to run downstream, and likely the flood warnings go into early next week farther to the south. So all because of this storm system. The heavy rain from earlier lifted to the north, tons of snow to the west and wind. We're not going to be dealing with that, at least the snow part anyway, but as this system pinwheels by overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, it's going to bring some very strong wind with it on the backside. 60 right now in Omaha. That is the warmest we've been since November 1st. So it's good to have that anyway with a little bit of sunshine. You notice some 60s down to the south, should fall back into the 50s and stay there most of the night. Southeast wind, gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour, so a little lighter than expected there. That's good news out of today if we can find any. But I think it's going to be really tough to miss out on the winds tomorrow. Rainfall, 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. Normally we get this, not a big problem. Spread out over enough, doesn't really cause any issues. But with the snow melt and the ground being frozen, all that leads to a lot of water with few places to go. Fills up the rivers very quickly. Here's a look at additional rainfall, fresh computer model data. Through 10 o'clock tonight, heaviest will probably be to the west, and then you can see a little bit more through noon on Thursday. Heaviest, though, through the day and into, well, early Friday. Most of this is done well before, but accumulated rainfall over the next 24 hours, heaviest to the north and to the northwest, but all these numbers a lot lighter than what we just saw today. We'll have to watch out for snow on the backside of this system as well. Not a lot, generally 1/2 inch or less for many locations. The heaviest stays just to the west of Norfolk and Columbus. But why am I worried about a 1/2 inch of snow? Because of the wind that could go with it as it's falling. Look at what these wind gusts do tonight and into tomorrow. Pretty quiet tonight, 20 to 30, not too bad. Even into early tomorrow morning, not much to worry about. But look what happens late morning on Thursday. Northwest wind gusts up near 70 miles per hour to the west. Could be 50 to 60 near the river, and then those spread east. We're looking at wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour deep into the afternoon and into the evening hours as well. So a very, very windy day on your Thursday. Hour by hour with any rain showers tonight. This is 7 o'clock on into the evening. Overnight, all these showers lift to the north, and we'll continue to see those do so. Pretty spotty, pretty light, and then there's the next batch of precip that rolls in heading towards tomorrow morning. Again, that pretty light as well, and could have some snow mixed in with it in the afternoon. So we're going to keep tomorrow an alert day because of the wind, because of the snow, But after that, it gets a lot better. Near 50 for this upcoming weekend. Download our First Alert app and keep up to date on the 7-day forecast whenever you need it. You can find it there as well as Alert Day coverage information. We'll be right back after this break.
Now, 6 News Sports.
Hi again, everyone. The Creighton basketball team will play in the Big East tournament tomorrow in New York City. The Blue Jays will look for their 6th win in a row against Xavier. The team split during the regular season. The Jays won easily in Omaha on February 3rd with a 76-54 victory, but Xavier came back to beat Creighton 10 days later in overtime 64-61. The Jays still have a shot at the NCAA tournament, where most experts have Creighton right on the bubble as one of the last 4 teams out. So Coach Greg McDermott and the Jays want to make some noise at Madison Square Garden this week.
Well, obviously we feel good. We won 5 in a row, and we're playing better. It's going to be really important that we take our defense on that airplane with us. I think in order to win 3 games in 3 days in New York City, I think your defense has to travel with you, and if it doesn't, you're asking for trouble. So, we've put ourselves in a position where at least these games are meaningful. I think when it comes down to the NCAA bubble, you got to have some things fall your way with some other teams, and you got to take care of business yourself. So we just got to continue to control what we can control, and that's take one game at a time and see if we can't put a couple together.
It's going to be kind of like a little revenge game, like a lot of games are in the Big East. Everybody's beating everybody, so we just want to come out and do what we did at our place. We executed the game plan really well, and then we just did what we had to do to win. So hopefully we can do that in the Garden.
And real quick, Nebraska leads Rutgers 26-25 at halftime.
All right, we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock tonight.
Get WOWT 6 News anytime, anywhere. Download our free news and First Alert weather apps.